Hello, my name is Helena,
And my name is Riyad.
and today we will present you our coursework. So for this coursework, we have prepared two datasets. One dataset is containing structured data, and it's related to customer purchase in an online store. It will include details about invoices, product data, quantities purchased, priced, and customer information. And the second dataset is related to semi-structured data, and it will contain customer reviews. So it will include information about reviewers, their feedback, ratings, and product details. So it will help us to understand customer sentiments and behaviors. And for this coursework, we have defined our business problems that we would like to resolve. So our business problem sounds like, how can the business improve customer retention, satisfaction, and revenue by understanding and acting on customers' purchase patterns and feedback? And our business requirement is coming from our business problem. So business requirement is examining customer purchase habits and satisfaction by looking at their transaction records and reviews in order to improve customers' retention and satisfaction as well as to increase revenue. And first of all, we will start with exploring of our data sets. And to do that, we need to import some libraries. First of all, we will import Pandas, RapidFOSS, and NLTK, that is Natural Language Text Processing. Then we need to install additional libraries. Yes. After that, we are creating a sample data paths, so the path to CSV file and the path to JSON file. And our CSV file containing structured data, so we will put it in variable structured data. And the second file is related to unstructured or semi-structured data in our case. So let's explore our structured data. We can do that by showing the head of the data. And we see what does it contain. Then we can explore it in more details and to see statistical summary for numerical columns in the data set. Yes. And these data set represent sales records from an online store. And the main highlights, as we can see, its quantity and unit price columns have 541K entries with non-missing values in each column, while customer ID column has only 406K entries. So we can understand that we have some missing values in this column. The average quantity sold in this case is 9.55 and average unit price is 4.61. We can see that most sales involve small quantities. We can understand it by median equal to 3. And many items have quite low unit prices, as shown by the median unit price of 2.08. Negative values in quantity and unit price columns could be related to refunds or data entry errors. And also we can see that quantity has a maximum of 80.995. That could be possibly an outlier or bulk purchase. And the high standard deviation compared to the mean for quantity and unit price could refer to significant outliers. So that means that we should a little bit clean our data before starting to work with them. And after that, we can explore a little bit our semi-structured data. We can do it by the same head column. And we can see that this dataset is a collection of semi-structured data related to customer reviews. So each row corresponds to a review and contains a mix of numerical, textual, and categorical data. And in this dataset, we can see unstructured elements like review text, summary, and preprocessed text columns. So these are columns containing free-form text, and it makes them unstructured data. But the remaining fields like reviewer ID, ASIN, overall helpful, and stock code are structured data, which can be used for tabular analysis or modeling. And then let's go to the data preprocessing. Let's start with the structured data. So first of all, we need to handle missing values in structured data. So our code will replace missing values with the last valid values visible above. Mhm. Yes. Then we will continue processing our data, and we will convert invoice date column to a pandas datetime object. And in that case, we will enable date-based operations, as well as we will convert customer ID column to integer for more efficient analysis in future. The next thing we will do, it's removing of duplicates. Mhm. Yes. After that, we can handle outliers for quantity column. So we will define lower and upper bounds to identify outliers, and then we will filter the data to keep only values within the bounds. And the same we will do for the unit price column. Also, we decided to add a new feature to this dataset. It's total price column for each invoice, and it's calculated like structured data column quantity multiplied to unit price column. And then we decided to do preprocessing function, and first of all, we need to do some importing. We are importing essential components from the Natural Language Toolkit library in order to create it. And after the import is done, we can start with defining our function. Yes, so we are defining stop words related to the English language. And these stop words are the words like the, is, and they will be removed from our text. And also, we will define lemmatizer. So it will reduce words to their base forms. And our preprocessing function will do the following actions. It will ensure that all text is case insensitive, so we will convert it to lowercase. Also, we will remove all URLs using a regular expression pattern. We will remove special characters and punctuation. Also, we'll use regex pattern. Then we will remove numbers from the text to maintain cleaner data. After that, we would tokenize the text. That means that we will split the text into individual words or tokens. Then we are removing these common stop words and reduce words to their base forms using WordNet lemmatizer that we defined higher. And we will receive clean tokens. And then we are just joining these clean tokens back into a single string. And that's our function that we need to apply. Yes, and for structured data, we will apply this function for the column called description. So this column will be cleaned and standardized. After that, we can check the results, and let's see which results do we have. So yeah, currently we don't see any outliers or something very strange in our data, and we see that our new column was added. The new column name is total price. And then we will preprocess data for semi-structured data set. So we have already created preprocessing function, and for semi-structured data, we will apply it for columns review text, preprocessed text, and summary, because these were free text columns. We should wait a little bit while preprocessing is done. Yes, we see that text preprocessing was completed successfully. And then we can convert review time to a date time object. So this will help us to process data more efficiently. Yes, and then we can just check the results. So our dataset looks like that. And actually, our preprocessing is done for both datasets. And now I will give the word to my colleague, Riyad, and he will tell you about ontology creation.
Hi. Yes, we will go to the ontology creation. So what's the main purpose of that is to create the RDF graph, formalize the relationship between the entities like customers, reviewers, and products. This structure will represent and make it easier to analyze and query the data in the future. We will start from the initializing the needed libraries as the RDF-lib, which will help us to create that graph. And then we will go to the network X that will help us to create visualization of the information and make it work. So for the first graph, we will start with the structured data. We will have here the relationship between customer ID, stock code, and we will see which customer was about which products. So in our case, it's only one customer with that ID to make the visualization more clear and make sure that everybody understands what's going on. So as you see here on the graph, we have the customer with our ID, and we will see each product that the customer ever bought. And it will help us to understand the relationships and how to query the data. So after that, we can install the PyVis package for the visualization of the network graphs and making it interactive. So let's install it one more time. After the installation, we can go to creation of that graph. So here, as you see, I added one more customer ID. That means that we will have more things to see and understand. And if we run this script as output, we will see this interactive graph that looks a little bit messy. So, but if we will interact with it, we will see that we have the persons, 2 persons. I will not look for them right now because it's like, as you see, it will be hard to take them out of here. Yeah. And we can see that each person have the products that they bought, and maybe it is not clear in this case, but we can understand that each person can buy the several products, and the several products can be bought at the same time by different customers. So we can see that relationship between that graph. So the graph actually shows that relationship, yeah. And the nodes represents customer and product. That's easy. So it represents the relationship of buy and linking the customer to the purchased product. And that's it. That's not, yeah, really complicated. So we can go with the same way to the semi-structured data set and run the same type of the script to see the graph one more time, which we will have it more clear and easier to understand this time, because we will see that each reviewer can have different reviews, and different reviewers can have a review on the same product, which can help a person to understand and query the database. Yeah. And we will not go further to the analyzing of this. It's not that hard. So we will go to the analyzing of the structured data by creating some kind of graphs and the visual representation using charts. So let's go to the structured data analysis in the different cuts, and let's start with the monthly sales trend. In this script, we will use the invoice data, quantity, and the months to create the chart that will show us trend of in which months actually was sold most of the product. As we see here on the graph, the months of October, November especially, and December are the most popular months to make some kind of a purchases, and that means that the person who are having their shop, they can use that time to, for example, ensure the higher stock level in November and December, yeah, for the peak demand, focus on the targeting marketing campaign, yeah, promotion during the high sales months is like keep in mind the lower sales in the February or for example in April, yeah, and adjust some kind of a inventory or add more things to plan different discounts during that month to make more sales. And that's how it works. Yeah, and we can go to the next chart. It is the top selling products. Here we have the product stock code and the total quantity sold. Here we can see which product was sold the most, and by that we can understand that we can focus on the best sellers. For example, we can constantly avoid skipping, missing the sales opportunities, making sure that it's always in the stock. We can promote lower ranked products to make sure that they come to the first places, yeah, to make it a bit more competitive chart, yeah. And we can forecast the sales trends. We can understand what will be selling the next months the same way and prepare better for the financial year. And also we can create the chart which will be showing us the sales by country, which will help us to actually to set our logistic, because if it is the online shop, yeah, what we need to prepare the better and easier logistics, easier things to the buyers and sellers in the most yeah, interested in the product country. So as we see in the plot, like United Kingdom is have the most interest. So yeah, and we can focus on that country and focus on the high demand, create more places to sell. And also we can see that the German and France have some small amount of the sales. So we can, for example, grow the opportunities in these countries because we see that somebody is using the shop. So we can use that opportunities to provide some new opportunities to those countries and expand our secondary markets, yeah, in not only the United Kingdom. Next, top selling products by the total price. Here we also can see the product stock code and the total revenue. So we can see that overall, if the previous chart, this one, yeah, it was the top selling products, but by the total revenue, that means that some products can have the different, for example, pricing, yeah, and some of them will be much more expensive, and if they was bought less, that doesn't mean that they give the less revenue to the company. So according to this chart, we can see that some product with the product stock code DOT have the most revenue. That will help us to understand that we need to supply more of this product to our stock and to make the further capitalization of that strong revenue performance. we can boost the lower performing products. We can add some new strategies to sell more products and get more revenue out of them, and even maybe adjusting the prices by this chart. We can understand that. So yeah, I will give the word to the Yelena back to continue with the semi-structured data analysis.
Yes, thank you, Riyad. So let's continue. After successful structured data analysis, it's time to look on semi-structured data, and we will start with importing of required libraries. And after that, we will do sentiment distribution or review rating distribution. It is done by the column name overall, and we can see that our ratings are very, very good. So they're starting from 1 until 5. And customer satisfaction related to purchase good is high, as if we do simple calculations, we can see that 68% of ratings is set to 5 stars, while 19.4% of ratings is set to 4 stars. So in overall, 87.4% of total number of ratings is set to 4 and 5. That is a very high result, and overall customer satisfaction is great. That could refer to very good quality of sold goods. And let's continue. We can also analyze temporal traits, so number of reviews over the time. And let's see. So we have selected top 10 months with biggest number of revenue and have printed them out. And if we will analyze them as well as looking on the chart, we can see that the biggest number of reviews was received in 2013 and 2014. That probably could be related to special marketing activities or some other investments done by companies that increased customer activity. For example, it could be inclusion of famous brand clothes or bags in assortment. So yeah. And in both years, we can see that big numbers of reviews was related to the month May. So maybe the company has some yearly activity. For example, in this period, seasonal item appears in stock or some promotion is done. So actually, it would be good for the company to analyze it in details and to continue such activities. So the next analysis we can do is word frequency or word cloud analysis. So during this analysis, we can analyze feedbacks. So as you remember, we have some preprocessed data in textual columns. And in this plot, we see that these are the terms most mentioned in the feedback. And according to the created picture, we see that most of reviews are very positive, and they contain such words as good, great, nice, work well, perfect, that indicates that this feedback were very positive and the quality of goods purchased was very good. The next analysis we can do, it's top reviewed product by ASINs. And we see top 10 that is printed out a little bit lower than the graph, as well as we can see the same data in the graph. And the biggest number of reviews is equal to 169. So according to this plot, we can see that top 10 most reviewed products have from 77 to 169 reviews. But if we look on top 3, these are products with some icings visible in the picture and then have more than 100 reviews. That means that people are interested in such types of products, and it's good to always have them in stock if their review stays positive. Also, the thing we have analyzed is the length of the review. Yes, and as we can see, the most reviews are quite short, so average number of words is only 43. So actually there is almost no reviews that size exceeds 200 words. So most probably buyers write reviews about main product features and their satisfaction, but not go very deep in details. And if the company wants to receive more information about some issues or some good features, they should contact these reviewers privately. because reviews are not so deep. But the main features can be understandable from them. Also, we have analyzed reviewer activity. And according to the plot, top 10 most active reviewers wrote from 28 to 51 reviews. But if you look on top 3, the number is from 39 to 51. And actually, this information can be used by business to provide for this person special offers, or even they can give them some goods for testing for free, or even paying them for this, because sometimes it's really needed to test the goods before selling them. And now I will give the word again to Riyad, and he will tell you about combined analysis, also in different cuts.
Yeah, let's start with the actually combining the data. So we will get the structured data and semi-structured data, get there and keep the matching records to make sure that some not needed information, and print out the head to see if everything looks fine or not. So here, as we can see, that everything is fine, the quantity is fine, the review count is good, and after that we can start analyzing some charts. So let's start with the top products by sales again. But in this case, we will see the quantity sum, total price sum, and here we will see that some products are really in the big lead, and that will mean that, for example, some kind of a postage, and the number of sold items is really good, and the total price is also really good. But from this chart, we can see the both, as was previously, we can see the both also the quantity and the revenue together. That means that, for example, for the white heart holder, we can see that we need to have more them in the stock to make sure that we can always provide the buyers opportunity to take it. And also we can make sure that we can have some promotions, have some campaigns to offer the most selling products and forecast the future sales. So also we can analyze the regions of the reviews according to the combined data sets. So here we will see the sum of the reviews and the number of the quantity of the product. So as we can see, the United Kingdom again in the big lead. That's logical because it's the main country where the products are sold. We can understand from here that we can go to the other countries in the like France, Germany, and so on to consider the more sales, because we can improve brand visibility in the different countries. We can tailor marketing strategies to align with the different cultures, not only the UK, and we can be go easier on UK, so to make sure that we can have more bigger business. So we can also see the sentiment with sales that will show us the review lengths, average product price, and average product price versus the review lengths. Yeah. So here we will see that it illustrates that between the lengths of the review and the average price is we can see the red dash, that is the average price. And we can see that if the product is higher than average price, that means that it sometimes have the longer reviews. So what we can take from it, we can take from it, for example, customer tend to write more detailed reviews on specific product types. That business could encourage detailed reviews for high value items to better inform the future buyers. and it will increase the sales of that more expensive product. We can impact on the price strategies. For example, if we have longer and more detailed reviews, we can go up in the price because it is not something that is unknown. The person who are interested in that product can see the long and detailed reviews, the long and detailed description, and understand what he's buying, and that's why we can put the higher or lower price on it. And we also can show the use cases of the product, by seeing the review patterns and design targeted strategies to improve that review quality for high value products. So what we can recommend based on that full combined data analysis. Let's start from the top products by sales. We can focus on inventory management and marketing efforts to make sure that we are selling our high performing products even in the bigger amount. We can use targeted promotions for those products to maximize that revenue by adding some kind of sales discounts and so on. We can make a regional analysis of the reviews of the sales, and by that we can see that the majority of the reviews and majority of the sales comes from the United Kingdom, which means that we can explore more in the different countries of the EU and to understand our company's potential and help to understand the problems with the shipping, product relevance in different areas, and marketing gaps. Review lengths versus the average product price. We can develop the strategies for the customers to leave detailed reviews or mid-range reviews as giving the special sales, special discounts for those persons to show that we are encouraging giving bigger reviews and to show our visibility and trust, to make sure that we are not deleting any kind of reviews and making our shop more reliable for the customers. Sentiment analysis. We can use positive reviews to highlight key selling points in the marketing company and add it inside of our marketing strategies to make sure that we can sell more product. So it's the same thing as the data-driven marketing strategy. About the privacy and trust. We can maintain the customer trust by anonymizing all the personal identifiers in the shared data. In any kind of a data, we can make sure that no customer information goes anywhere. We can do the cross-selling opportunity by creating some kind of a bundles of the high selling, for example, product with the low setting product that will make the low selling products more interesting for other people. And also the customer feedback integration. Maybe we can add using the natural language processing and machine learning. We can add some of the really useful parts of the person reviews to the product description, to add the disclaimers if the product have some kind of a thing that is not expected from the buyers, from the people who purchase it, to make sure that our client satisfaction is high and they will put the higher marks on the products and also on our shop. Future scalability. We can consider the implementing machine learning, as I already told, but to the prediction of the future trends like sales or customer sentiment based on the historical patterns that will make us more prepared for peak seasons and more prepared for the low selling seasons. Okay, we will stop with the analysis of the data and we'll go to some more kind of a technical stuff. Let's go to the AWS cloud computing. So what we have done for that, we installed the Boto3 library, which is for the AWS that will help us to connect and use the AWS S3 and Lambda clients using the Python. So here we will start and import the Boto3 and IO to make sure that we can access the AWS. Here we have, right now we have not very secure way, but it can be hidden values to access the AWS, and using the region will help us to make sure that our analysis not depend on the server capacities, so we can create the instances in the different availability zones that will help us to make sure that the analysis will not interrupt and we can get our data at time. So we will create here the collab bucket in the S3 bucket repository, in which we will first of all first of all, we will upload their structured and unstructured and semi-structured data. After the uploading that data, we will trigger the Lambda function, which will process that files, and after the processing the files, it will push it back to our Google Colab or any other environment from which we will run this. So as you see, yeah, it is uploading and downloading the processed files to back to us, and it will take much less time and much less resources of our computing machine, and we will make sure that we are getting most reliable results from the data processing in the cloud. That is the main upside of the cloud computing technologies. And also, not only this, we can make sure that we have all our historical data stored inside of the AWS cloud, inside of the S3 bucket, which will and that will be the responsibility of the AWS to not to delete or not to remove our data, and that will, we're not storing any like high and very heavy files, heavy data on our on-premises server, for example, or on our laptops, computers, and so on. And we're having all that inside of the AWS cloud, which will help us to make sure that that information is always acceptable. It's always and we can always rely on it and take that needed information from it. And this is really important for us. And let's go to the next topic, which is the privacy and trust. Yeah. So for example, in the above, when we was showing the head of the data samples, yeah, you saw the actually customer IDs or review IDs and so on, which can be the security breach if we are using, for example, the cloud or in any other case, yeah, to make sure that we are not leaking any sensitive information of our clients, we're not leaking their preferences to anyone. We can anonymize their data. So, for example, as you see here, we can take that IDs and show and just anonymize it to make sure that nobody else can have the access to it. So why this is actually important? Yeah, the data privacy law is the mandate anonymizing or pseudo anonymizing of the PII to protect the individual privacy. So organization processing sensitive data always must anonymize and always must adhere to those regulations to avoid legal and financial penalties. Yeah. The risk of this is not protecting the customers, not protecting the data, is the potential miss issues or identification of some individuals. For example, if we are not anonymizing the ID, not anonymizing the region where the person lives, we can anonymize their personality and make them the target of some criminal actions. So that's why it is very important to make sure that everything is secure and private. So we'll give the work back to the Yelena.
Yes, and I will say some conclusion words. So actually, through this project and working with structured and semi-structured data in Google Colab, we have learned the importance of effective data preprocessing, such as handling missing values, removing duplicates, handling outliers, and etc., in order to ensure data quality. And we have discovered the flexibility of Google Colab for collaborative data analysis and the usefulness of Python libraries for data preprocessing and visualization. And we are really proud that we were able to resolve a business problem and satisfy previously defined business requirement. That sounds as examining customers' purchase habits and satisfaction by looking on their transaction records and reviews in order to improve customers' retention and satisfaction as well as increase revenue. So after our successful analysis of transactions related to customer purchases in an online store, as well as customer review data, we were able to give valuable insights and recommendations that we also mentioned during analysis steps. And you can also find it in our report. So in overall, we have 23 recommendations to the business, how they can improve it. And by following these recommendations, business will keep more customers happy and loyal by meeting their needs and fixing issues mentioned in reviews. So we are completely sure that this will lead to higher sales through repeatable purchases, smarter product suggestions, and good feedback from satisfied customers. And using these insights will also help the business stay ahead of competitors and work more efficiently. Overall, these steps will help the business grow and succeed over the long term. That's our conclusion, and please read our report for more details. And that's all from our side for today. Thank you very much.